chocolate chip cookies. Come on. Now, I was gonna make the Betty Crocker ones, but when I compared her recipe to mine, I realized they were shockingly similar. And now, I'm not saying that I'm the new Betty Crocker, but you're gonna preheat your oven to 375 degrees, cream your butter, sugar, vanilla, and your egg. Her recipe did not include vanilla, but honestly, I'm always gonna throw some vanilla in there. If you can, try and get good vanilla. I always tell myself that I'm going to make my own vanilla like around Thanksgiving, and then I never do. It takes like 6 months. I just like to pretend that I don't have that much time. Both brown sugar and regular sugar. And from what I think I've researched, the brown sugar helps give it like that really yummy kind of chew, but also the crunch on the outside. I love my little vintage tins that I got to put my things in, but when I asked the guy at the vintage shop if they were actually food safe, he couldn't tell me yes or no definitively, so I was like, I'll keep them in a bag. This is going to be uncomfortably loud because this is a vintage mixer. Actually, that's not too bad. There we go. Lord. Now we're gonna add our dry ingredients to this. If you have self-rising flour, you do not add the salt and the baking soda. Now, Betty Crocker also does not put cinnamon in hers, but I do because I really like it. But if you don't want it, they're your cookies. This seems like a lot of flour. This dough looks dry. When I was growing up, I would have never eaten raw cookie dough. I always thought it was so gross, but man, I'll tell you what, that stuff is good now. Whew. This mixer though, she's getting hot. I think it might be time for me to invest. So I was reading in this Betty Crocker cookbook and it said that Ruth Wakefield in like 1940 actually created chocolate chip cookies because she just broke up a bunch of extra chocolate bars and like added them to her butter cookie mixture. And then she just like took the entire world by storm. Isn't that crazy? I don't know how you're supposed to get that off without eating it. But honey, I just had dental work done. I'm not trying to get raw cookie dough up in that. Come on, girl. I mean, I'll taste a little bit of it. That is good. Ooh, that's good. Oh man, I can't sit here to eat all this. I can tell you this, I went a little heavy with that cinnamon, so make sure if you add it in, you only do half a teaspoon, not a full teaspoon. But, I mean, I'll still eat them. 1 whole pack of chocolate chips. Ooh, Betty wasn't fooling around. Now, this recipe says that it makes about 6 dozen cookies, but she also puts hers out on rounded teaspoonfuls, so I think, you know, those are like the kind of really small cookies. I think we're used to cookies like this big, so that sounds like a lot of cookies. But what I do is instead of making all of the cookie dough, I'll put it in little balls on parchment paper and I'll freeze it. And that way, whenever I want a fresh baked cookie, I can just pop one out the freezer and make myself 1 or 2 or 4. Which is pretty fucking nice. All right, girlies, I think we got chocolate chip cookie dough. Oh, show. If you plan on making cookies a lot and you don't have one of these, get you one. I think this is like a rounded tablespoon. This is like a rounded teaspoon. These things are amazing for cookies. So I'm not really one for like aerosol spray kind of things, but I do like this Baker's Joy because like it has kind of like a very soft vanilla flavor, which helps with baking. 8 to 10 minutes. See, I didn't even read. I should have known that Miss Betty had this in here. If you want to make jumbo chocolate chip cookies, you drop it by 1/4 cupfuls and bake for 12 to 15 minutes and then cool completely and remove from the cookie sheet. I love this cookbook. Now look, I didn't listen. She said ungreased and I greased it. Let's try this again. Yeah, we did that. So much better. And that is why you read the instructions. Cool slightly, remove from cookie sheet, and go get you a Valentine. That right there is an absolutely perfect chocolate chip cookie. Heart on.